I don't care how many children you've lost in childbirth. You're fired.
But I was only having a child because you and the mister, you don't get to speak of me and the mister.
So, fun fact, did you know she was voiced by Cate Blanchett, or as Honest Trailers would call her, and as a result what I will call her, Cate Blanchett. Yes, just like that, every time. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Family Guy, or more specifically, Penelope, Stewie's one-time girlfriend. No joke, compared to everybody else, she hasn't even made a cameo past her first appearance. That's pretty strange. Now on Family Guy, you're probably apt to say that Stewie is a child prodigy. And yeah, to be fair, I guess he is. But I think to some degree, he's more like a big fish in a small pond, even if that probably wasn't their original intention. Just saying, Chap Stewie made that point when Stewie's reincarnated into a genius British family, and found that he wasn't as able to insult them as he would have liked.
You are a poopy head, and you shut up.
Stuart, I think your mouth is better at taking things in than spewing them out.
To compete with Stewie, and to make his episodes more interesting, the show introduced what I like to call Stewie clones, or similar-aged kids who are child prodigies in their chosen fields, and can be violent and foul-mouthed when they want to be. Yes, I know other shows do that, but Family Guy, hilariously enough, does it too. Like, it's funny, they started this whole trend, and yet it's in their own show. Like Olivia and her acting, or Bertram and everything Stewie does, or Olivia's boyfriend and his commercials, and then there's Penelope, and also Maud. Penelope, in many ways, is Stewie's best counterpart, and while not my absolute favorite, is an interesting character I think the show should have been further exploring. See, with Olivia and Stewie, their partnership failed because of their equally demanding personalities. With Bertram, it's somewhat similar, since it's really just Stewie working with a clone of himself, and we all know he's not that good working with others, which I guess explains Rupert. He can't talk back to Stewie, and Stewie can project whatever feelings onto Rupert he wants. With Penelope, they balance each other out, and they make for quite a team. Heck, Penelope is basically Stewie with a better control of his temper. It sucks Penelope isn't in more episodes, but you want to know who ruined this whole partnership for Stewie? Yes. Is it Lois? No, it's not, Catherine. It's Brian. Yeah, I know, he sucks. He ruins Meg's life, he gave Chris herpes, and now he moved on to a new target, his supposed best friend. So, let's discuss. Like most Family Guy episodes, we start off somewhere else that has little to no bearing on the episode. And that sucks because I feel that unlike most Family Guy episodes, they could have planted the seeds here for something later on. But I'll get to why. Stewie and Brian are at the bookstore, getting seats for a meet and greet with Jonathan Frasian. A real offer. No joke, I thought the show made him up, or he was a parody of a real offer. I did the same thing with John Force in King of the Hill. Wow, maybe I'm really not old. Apparently, he had a whole feud with Oprah about his book, The Corrections, when she chose it for the Book of the Month Club, since he believed that she did not have good taste. Not like anything political, literally just because she did not have good taste. Wow, free promotion, poor you. And when he got popular, he used his newfound fame as a writer to make a bunch of snobby, controversial remarks, like saying he never wrote about race in his books because, to quote him, I have never been in love with a black woman. So basically, he's Brian in real life. Wait, let me look up this guy. Oh, he went to Swarthmore. That explains it. Look, I'm sorry if you went to Swarthmore and you had to interact with this guy. I went there. You guys had a really good dining hall. Wait, but I thought Seth MacFarlane was Brian in real life. Zip it, Catherine. You can have more than one inspiration. While Brian is excited to meet human Brian, what with being a narcissist and all, Stewie would rather be anywhere else, even Boston, during a time of year that isn't the fall.
Ugh, I hate going to hear authors read from their work. That Dr. Seuss reading was dreadful.
Yeah, Stewie has a point. Look, no offense to authors, I love going to meet you and support you. I love book signings. I love meeting fans. And for me, New York is just a PATH train away, so I can basically go there whenever I want. But it's for the same reason I don't really tend to watch most music videos or adaptations of my favorite books. I think they would be good, but it would ruin my oxymoronic mental picture. Like now, I can't read The Giver without picturing Jeff Bridges, even though I liked him in to give her, but point still stands. Before it starts, Brian meets a woman named... Okay, look, I'm gonna blow your mind. Weirdly, we never find out her name. And honestly, that's pretty surprising considering this type of show. They don't even give her a nickname or anything, because she doesn't appear past the first 2 scenes. On IMDb, she's just known as College Girl. I know how Fox did press releases for the episodes, and I think they still do, and sometimes they would reveal side character names like with Louie on American Dad. So yeah, this just feels really strange. I guess to make things easier on all of us, I'll do what I always do, like I did with Jonathan, and nickname her. I dubbed the Carmen, after writer Carmen Maria Machado, since she likes writing and she's going to a book reading. Plus, if you're an English major, you have to read The Husband Stitch for every other class. I'm pretty sure I have that story memorized. Unfortunately, Jonathan Frasian isn't showing up.
I'm sorry, everybody. Mr. Franzen has informed us he's not coming. Like most real authors, he's too good for this dumb town.
Yeah, I could see Brian doing that. I mean, he kind of did that in Brian Writes a Bestseller, or also based on my multiple Google searches, I could see the real Jonathan Frasian doing it.
Well, this crowd was promised an author. No!
Thank you, Stewie. Thank you. But something good does come out of that terrible night, for Brian at least. Brian hits it up with Carmen, a creative writing student, and offers to look over her homework, and then look over her boobies.
All right, hold on. Is this what your parents are paying all that tuition for? So you can dogs?
Unfortunately, he's also with Stewie, and he's too lazy to just drop him off at home. So Stewie has nothing to do but watch Charlie St. Cloud all night long.
Ugh, Charlie St. Cloud? And why are there so many fingerprints on this? Who's handling their Charlie St. Cloud DVD all the time?
You know, I totally forgot that movie existed, or that Zac Efron was in it. Kind of like Adam Devine, I think he disappears off the face of the earth, and then I'm watching Comedy Central on a Saturday night, and he randomly shows up in a movie rerun. Elsewhere, we get the subplot of the episode, which is really good too, and really memorable. Peter wakes up one morning and can't find Lois.
Lois, you in the bathroom?
Oof, she looks like a cross between a pad when the wings get stuck to it and a frog. As it turns out, Lois has been having problems lately, since Peter rolls over in his sleep and crushes her like the crushing weight of reality.
I see. Well, that sucks.
I know, right? And among other things, he causes...
Jonathan, you have 3 crushed ribs, but I was able to stop the internal bleeding.
Doctor, this has happened 7 times in the last month.
Ugh. And at times like this, I'm grateful I sleep on a couch and not a bed. I don't get crushed, the kitchen is right there, and I get the biggest TV in the whole house. Unfortunately, Dr. Hartman has no solution, likely because he's of similar size and stature as her husband. Oh, his poor wife. I guess I don't know what else to say besides apparently, this plotline was in production ever since Brian Writes a Bestseller. That's ironic. During the press release for that episode, they mentioned that the subplot would be that Peter and Lois get separate beds, but as we know, that never happened, and the episode had no subplot. I don't know if maybe they were sitting on this idea for a while, if Fox got their info wrong, or if they were going to add it to the episode and it ran out of time. But it's fun to wonder, or just tell myself they're doing what American Dad did with Mean, Francine, and Footprints, where they tell an episode's plot over the course of several years. I mean, come on, time travel in the multiverse is a thing in this world. The next morning, Brian is driving home with Stewie. I guess Lois and Peter were too concerned with Lois's survival to be sure he was home safe. And while Brian got hot and bothered, Stewie only got bothered.
Look, I'm sorry. I wasn't planning on spending all night there.
Sorry, you could only watch Charlie St. Cloud so many times before you start to wonder, is this why you don't see Zac Efron in that much stuff anymore, or do you just have really narrow, poor taste? To make it up to Stewie, Brian offers to take him to the park, the kid version of a bar, next to Chuck E. Cheese's, but that costs money and the animatronics will bite you 87 different ways.
You like the park, right? We're about to pass the turnoff. Here it comes.
You may take me to the park.
At the playground, Stewie gets bullied by a kid he tries to befriend, and strangely, he doesn't fight back.
Excuse me, I didn't bring any of my toys. Can I play with some of yours?
No! Mine!
Look, I don't mean it in a victim-blaming kind of way. We have seen Stewie get even with kids in other episodes, and it becomes a pretty important point here. He was going to shoot a kid for insulting him in The Hand That Rocks the Wheelchair.
Excuse me, fella.
Yeah? What do you want, shrimp?
Oh, just a few moments of your time. Hang on. Let me just get this little guy assembled.
At least until the gun didn't work. And he took over the jungle gym because a bully told him not to play on it in sibling rivalry.
Hey, where'd you get the Pete Rose haircut?
Anyone else want to feel my Weebok in their grapes?
So, yeah, all things considered, it just feels weird. And unlike Hand that rocks the wheelchair, they don't even hand wave it as Stewie lost his edge or something like that. He just decides not to. But while he's wallowing, he's approached by a girl named Penelope.
My name's Penelope.
I've never seen you around here before.
I'm new to town and I don't have many friends.
All right. A lot of pressure on me instantly, but okay.
Penelope, well, how do I describe her? I guess think evil Stewie in female form, with curly hair. For example, like Stewie, she enjoys getting revenge on people that have wronged her, and is willing to help Stewie out by giving his bully
Miss Taffy with superglue.
Yeah, I'm not showing the aftermath. Just know the lesson of the day is not to push people. Don't pick up pieces of candy off the street unless you want to end up in a box. And parents, watch your kids when they are on the playground to ensure they aren't pushing others. That is rude. In the Griffin household, it's bedtime, and Peter finds that his bed performed mitosis and separated into 2 separate mini-beds.
Lois, why do we have Lucy and Ricky beds?
Because Lois is on her period, so she's Nita. I don't make the rules. Or mayhaps she wants to imitate WandaVision. What do you think? Lois is no longer willing to risk getting squished at night, so she decided that from now on, the pair will sleep in separate beds. I mean, I guess outside of when they want to do the nasty, what are they supposed to do? Take turns in each bed? But this new change upsets Peter immensely.
I can't sleep like this, Lois. I need someone to cuddle with. Believe it or not, men like to cuddle. Even cold, unfeeling men like Charles Bronson.
So it can't be with like a body pillow or a stuffed animal? I mean, I'm 24 and I still sleep with a stuffed animal. They make really good neck pillows. Ugh. Of course, Peter is so picky that he needs it to be with a warm body. Also, I think the Cleveland show did this whole plot line with Junior and Rollo when Junior's toy got washed and he couldn't love it anymore, so he took Rollo in as his new toy. Stewie and Penelope have hit it off and decide to have a play date, and the similarities become even more noticeable. Like Stewie, Penelope enjoys tinkering with scientific formulas, which I cannot even begin to comprehend. I'm not smart like that. And like Stewie, she even has her own weapons room.
Do you actually use these?
Only when fear, spite, jealousy, and revenge demand.
So, like all the time? Stewie has questions, as do I.
Do your parents have any idea?
My mother's not a concern.
Well, I mean, do your parents know about your weapons room, Stewie, outside of the simulation episode? Penelope explains that her mother has died.
She was taking a tub and somebody came in and cut her head off.
Oh, that sucks, but how did—
Well, I held the knife. And her hair.
Oh my God! I've been dreaming about doing that for years.
Wait, oh my goodness, Penelope did the impossible? She got rid of a tiresome parent? Damn, she just did worse than Stewie. If anything, she surpassed Stewie. But honestly, I did wish we saw Penelope's father, or at least her living situation. I mean, I'm guessing she has a dad because of the similarities between her and Stewie. Stewie does have a dad after all, and she does mention going to daycare. Is he just easily cowed to Penelope's frets? Does he know Penelope is an evil child and he encourages it or just looks the other way? Does he try to remarry but Penelope constantly kills his new dates? It would be a cool insight to how Peter would react, simulation notwithstanding. Or does Penelope not have a dad because she killed him too? Or she had a single mother? Sorry if I'm looking too deeply into this. I've wondered this ever since the episode came out. I guess this question is ripe for fanfic writers, including that Family Guy fanfic wiki with Stan Thompson, and because my fanfics are primarily about Beetlejuice, Penelope and Stewie would not intersect. Fanfic writers, I have a prompt for you. Stewie can't look at the red flags or get jealous or anything like that because he has found his soulmate.
I've never said this to anyone before, but I feel like I may have finally found my one true soulmate.
Yay! Hey, which makes me now realize that Stewie has never canonically had a boyfriend outside of cutaway gags. I guess it's to preserve the joke of Stewie potentially being in the closet, or because Fox won't let them for whatever reason, but I legitimately never noticed it until I had to do research for these videos. I wanted to do a whole video on Stewie's SOs, and I was surprised to see he had no boyfriends. At least I can hold off on it, or do multiple smaller videos.
It's as if our meeting were more than a mere coincidence. It's as if we were meant to be together.
Indeed.
You know, I'm surprised this didn't lead to anything. I mean, I don't care, but worth pointing out. Like, what if Penelope was secretly jealous of him? Or she knew Bertram, or she heard of Stewie and wanted to take out a potential rival. At a restaurant, Quagmire is asked by Peter to cuddle. Weird, but okay.
I'm used to having another person there.
I know, I always sleep better when I'm next to someone.
Yeah, it's only natural, right? I'm glad to hear you say that.
No, I totally get it, Peter. Snuggling is a basic human need.
Not me. No, I like space when I sleep, and people are gross. And to be honest, for all of you guys with that fantasy out there, because I go on Reddit, I'm the worst person to cuddle with. I sleep like I'm on a boat and I grind my teeth, and I get panic attacks in my sleep. Hey, that rhymes. I wouldn't be surprised if I had a split personality that only comes to life when I'm asleep.
Right, I mean, who says that the body next to you has to be male or female or whatever?
Or alive.
Yeah, well, no, but yeah.
Once again, Peter, I suggest a stuffy. Or if you want warmth, one of those microwave heating pads you use when you get your period. But I'm surprised Quagmire is up for it. Wouldn't having to constantly cuddle with Peter each and every night screw up his routine and all? Like, oh, sorry, I can't sleep with you. I promised my friend I would keep him company and cuddle with him. Don't worry, it's not weird. We're not like that, even though there was a whole episode where we pretended to be. Giggity. But I wonder where things will take us.
Oh, Stewie, it's so nice to finally have someone to do naughty things with.
Definitely.
That sounds weird with no context. No offense. Stewie and Penelope are having fun doing naughty things together, which involves simply doing random acts of violence for the sake of it, and they never claim credit, which seems kind of weird, but okay. At first, it starts off as just petty acts.
Oh, bloody hell, how do you go 2 weeks without opening your wallet?
Yeah, he's been out to dinner like 4 times.
We're clearly not going to get him this way.
Maybe he has Apple Pay, or maybe he has a wallet on the back of his phone where he keeps all his cards. I mean, I don't pull out my card unless I'm at a restaurant. And when I was at Hooters and AC, I forgot my card, so they just had me go up to the waitress with my phone so we could Apple Pay. But soon they transitioned from simple acts to full-on global terrorism.
I say, we're on quite a run. We blew up the Great Wall of China, bombed the Eiffel Tower, and look at this note I sent off. Dear Pakistan.
Up yours. Love, India.
But despite all of this, I do like the pair together. If Stewie ever revived his want of wanting to take over the world or have people respect him, Penelope would be an effective help. Or I could see the pair getting what they want and then fighting for supremacy. At night, Peter and Quagmire start cuddling. What Peter is the big spoon. What? But it works, they're comfortable with it, and their arrangement begins. But question, why does the scene after this quote
Not strange.
I know.
always get cut on FXX? Like, I have only seen them do the whole scene like once. Is it because of the boxers? Like, did they have to censor it? Is it to insert more ads? Isn't that why they speed up the episodes? In the Griffin household, Brian has figured out that Penelope and Stewie did a bunch of evil stuff.
My God, it's you, isn't it? It's you and Penelope who've been doing all these horrible things.
Ding, 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 the genius gets it. But Brian has some choice words for Stewie, saying that Penelope is taking him down a deep, dark path.
Look, in the past you've done terrible things, but it's always been about the pursuit of your greater goal of world domination. But this girl, she just creates chaos for the sake of chaos.
I guess he has a point, but at the same time, I'd argue Stewie kind of does the same thing. Like time travel and all that. Or like what I said about the kids that wronged him. I guess it's because he at least has a reason, not because of world domination. Or just because he's bored, which again would be a reason. That's why I wish they planted the seeds for Stewie being a kind of good evil, I guess you could say, rather than a chaotic evil evil in the beginning of the episode, like if Stewie wonders if perhaps he's gone soft again, since it's been a while since he's done anything evil, or made a plan to kill Lois or take over the world, or if something happens to Stewie and then Brian says, "Hey Stewie, why don't you try to attack people anymore," or something like that, and then it makes him question things, and then he meets Penelope and she invites back that spark in his life, but Brian doesn't care and tells Stewie to stop seeing Penelope.
Penelope is wonderful! We're going to be together forever!
Well, Rupert, this is a big mess.
What the hell were you doing talking to him?
Or what, Brian? What are you gonna do? I'm serious. Stewie and Penelope started a war between Pakistan and India just for the fun of it. Imagine what they could do to you. But I'm not one for the nuclear option, if you couldn't see from the title of this video. Yeah, I'm on Stewie's side. At Penelope's house, the pair are having dinner, and unlike him and Olivia, they don't insult one another because they made Play-Doh spaghetti, which was probably harvested from some poor Play-Doh person. Penelope wants to do something violent again, but Stewie tries to tell her to cool it.
You know, Penelope, maybe we don't have to kill someone every day. There are other things to do.
Like what?
I don't know. You know what, forget it.
You know, I think this is actually a good point. Like, outside of wanting to cause chaos, what do they really have in common? Do you ever meet somebody with a similar interest, as in that one similar interest, like with a TV show or a hobby, and then you find out that without that thing to talk about, you're pretty lost? It's a sucky feeling, and maybe that could have been a good way for these two to break up. They like causing chaos, they like being violent, but they have nothing in common with one another. And Stewie was just looking at things through rose-colored glasses. Stewie hates that Brian put that doubt in his mind. Oh my god, he's worse than the Fates from Hadestown. At least they caused Spring to come back. And he tells her about what Brian said, which of course angers Penelope. So Penelope says that since Stewie loves her oh so much, he has to prove his love by killing Brian. Wait, what?
Do you love me?
More than anything.
Then swear on that love that you'll do what I ask.
Just name it.
Kill him. Kill Brian for me.
Do it, Stewie. Do it. And then you'll not only win her love, but the love of an entire fandom. Which I guess another problem is they could have done more with Penelope and those red flags. Like outside of this one scene, what if Stewie doesn't want to murder somebody every day, or he just gets tired of it that it becomes like a chore? So Penelope has to sweet talk him into doing it, and he doesn't notice how crazy she is because of his love for her. I don't know. I get Brian's speech, but is it really any different than what Stewie would normally do? Even if Brian ruined his own show and the love of an entire fandom, Stewie cannot bear to kill him because he's his best friend.
God, I can't kill Brian, even for Penelope. He's my dog, my friend.
Ugh, now you have empathy.
Wonder what words are gonna come out of this pen today.
Crappy, pretentious words that a preschooler could write better and more eloquently. Brian, I like the stories I create, and I hate my own writing, especially the writing for my videos because laughter feels like bullets, and most of the time I've started writing these on the train or in the bathtub, and you're suddenly making me comfortable with the trash I churn out, because anything I write is automatically better than what you write. Really? Are you using a notepad? Are you trying to write a novel or balance your checkbook? Stewie can't bear to do it, so he has to go back to Penelope empty-handed.
So did you do it? Have you removed that wretched cur from our existence?
I just couldn't bring myself to kill him, Penelope. Brian is my best friend.
Perhaps you're right.
Surprised he couldn't just lie and said he'd do it? What, is she gonna go to his house and check? Ask for proof? Oh my god, imagine that. So Penelope decides to do it herself.
It appears I'll have to kill him myself.
What?
I knew you were too weak to do this. You're nothing but a coward.
Yeah, lying probably would have been beneficial to you in this case, Stewie.
Ugh, strong women always turn out to be nightmares. Like Joan of Arc.
Hey guys, I'm not like other girls. I kill people and burp and watch so much porn.
Us chicks do all of that crap. What are you talking about? You're just making us look bad, Joan. Maybe they burned you at the stake for not supporting your fellow gals and female-presenting pals. Who are you, Eloise from Bridgerton? The only character I actually like next to Penelope and Queen Charlotte? Lois finally has enough of Peter and his cuddling. Oh yeah, I guess I should have mentioned. The new arrangement that Peter and Quagmire did was more than just Quagmire Quagmire coming over and cuddling with Peter. It's Peter and Quagmire basically acting like a couple, outside of kissing and push-popping. Peter even has sleepovers at Quagmire's house, because it's preferable to being in his own bed.
I live here now, Lois.
Look, I'm sorry that I ever got a separate... Is that a bracelet you're wearing?
It's a giggity band, Lois. You wouldn't understand.
You know, it sucks that Quagmire couldn't get over his own emotional issues when it comes to dating, because he seems like he would be a really great SO. Wait, but what about Joan the maid? Or Cheryl Tiggs? Or that abusive chick, which honestly isn't his fault, but you get my point. Crap, those episodes are a thing. You know what, just watch Lydia's video. Lois tells Peter that if he comes home with her, they'll go back to snuggling.
Well, you promise?
I promise. 'Cause you know, I missed cuddling with you too.
You did?
I sure did.
Even if there is a huge chance he could still potentially kill Lois, or make her go the same way as Curly's wife. I mean, something similar did happen to Quagmire. But they miss cuddling, so the subplot is over. Admittedly, while I find this subplot hilarious, I do wish they found out why Peter rolls over in his sleep constantly, and why it's crushing Lois. I mean, besides his weight, since that whole idea is never really resolved. Like, perhaps it's something psychological, like Peter stressed at work or having a dream he doesn't understand, and Lois tries to help him figure it out, or Peter doesn't want to figure it out. So in the meantime, Peter goes to stay at Quagmire so he can cuddle, or he sneaks out to go cuddle. Or they come to a compromise, like they can sleep in the same bed, but Peter sleeps with pillows around him or between his legs. That way, if he rolls over, he won't hurt Lois. Or he just gets a weighted blanket. I don't know. I guess this is kind of a nitpick, so With that subplot over, Brian and Stewie take it away. Stewie is worried for Brian's safety and the idea that Penelope could be ready to kill him at any second, like poisoning his coffee or his donut.
Did you make that coffee?
No, it was here when I came in. I assume Lois made it.
Don't drink that!
Hey, that mug was my crew gift from Class Holes.
Do you really need that mug? Didn't they kick you off your own show? And didn't said show feature James Woods? But while it seems like Stewie is paranoid, it pays off when Brian gets a package. A package, if you would.
I've got a package here for Brian Griffin.
Oh, that's me.
Brian, no!
You know, outside of the package, I wonder if Penelope actually did any of that stuff, or if it's Stewie just being worried. I could totally see it going either way. Stewie informs Brian that Penelope is after him, and he needs to get somewhere safe in the meantime. But Penelope is there, I guess waiting and watching in the bushes like Pepe Le Pew, and tells Stewie to murder Brian or step aside.
Stewie, step aside.
Penelope, I can't let you do this!
But Stewie is finally against her, even if Brian thinks he could handle her. Like, have you even met Stewie?
All right, Stewie, tag in.
Thank you, Penelope. Thank you. The whole fandom and the cartoon community, thank you for your contributions to ruining Brian's day. Audience watching, clap or else. Question, did you guys really clap? Stewie fights Penelope for Brian's life, and it's super awesome, even if it's not on the level of an epic chicken fight, until he eventually gains the upper hand and tells Penelope to stay away from Brian, and likely also him.
Very well, Stewie, I shall. But just one thing.
What? That was beautiful.
And unfortunately, we never heard from her again, which I guess it's because Cate Blanchett is too expensive or busy, but couldn't they just recast her if need be? They've done it before plenty of times. I mean, they did it with Robert Downey Jr. as Lois's brother Patrick. They could just give it to another actress or Rachel McFarlane. Just saying, there's so much they could have done. Perhaps while she might hate Brian, she doesn't hate Stewie. Like Bertram tried killing Stewie, she could continue trying to kill Brian. They could have a Batman, Catwoman, Brock Sanson, Molotov thing going on, where they become fierce rivals but still like each other, and perhaps feel some attraction. It would be a good successor to Bertram, a rival that has ties to Stewie, but it's more than just hating him for the sake of it. Heck, the newer seasons kind of have what I call SpongeBob syndrome, where a show has reached such a nostalgic point that they can add fan favorites as cameos, even if SpongeBob does it to the point where it's like they try to wipe away all of an episode's flaws by doing it. They could have Penelope show up at, say, Stewie's preschool or the playground, and just not have them talk, just as a little nod to the fans, like, hey, we're listening to you, or have her be mentioned like Stewie interacts with her off screen. But I guess Brian is alive. Yay, that's something, I guess.
Hey, thanks for saving my life.
It was the least I could do. Obviously, it turns out you were right about Penelope.
You okay?
I will be.
Anyhow, what did I think about this episode? Well, despite my criticisms, which are mostly just easily fixable nitpicks, I think it's really good. It's one of the best quote-unquote modern Family Guy episodes, even if I guess you can't really call those episodes modern anymore, so I guess middle season road Family Guy. And honestly, while season 10 had some of the show's worst episodes, Screams of Silence, the Hurricane episode, Be Careful What You Fish For, it also had some of the best. This episode, Living on a Prayer, Forget Me Not, Killer Queen. Honestly, the middle seasons of Family Guy are a giant mixed bag. I don't know what to say. But I guess you gotta take the good with the bad. Anyhow, bye!
Oh, hey Meg, what have you been up to?